بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. We welcome y'all to another session of the Black Imams Roundtable. I am Imam Amin Muhammad, along with the great Imam of the Boombat, Imam Faheem Lee, and the Imam of Pittsburgh, Imam Naeem Abdullah. We make up three the hard way. And he's who? What's his name? Imam Faheem, what's his name?
I'm Fred Williamson. I don't know his name in the movie.
I don't know who the other two is. Was Jim Kelly one of them?
Yeah, Jim Kelly was the guy that he was the martial artist.
I'm Jim Kelly. So Naeem, who is he left? That's
Jim Brown.
Oh, hey man, that's a great one, Jim Brown. Okay. So we have a very important subject we're going to talk about, and really we've been putting it off, but I think it's like extremely important that we really get our shovels out and dig into the subject, which is really the subject of marriage and all about marriage. You know, over the last few weeks, we've seen some real troubling stories about marriage among our people. And when I say our people, I mean the people who attend our Masjid, our online programs. We've seen really some disturbing things. And inshallah, we want to try to set some things straight. And I want to start first by saying, and I think all of us would agree, that we as the Imams, the main Imams on this Black Imam Roundtable, though we have others, and I think all of them share, we as Imams, we do not support any illicit activity by those who attend our sessions, whatever that illicit activity may be. Even if it's unlawful talking, we don't support it, right? So we beg of all of you who attend the Black Imams Roundtable, Imam Naeem sessions, Imam Faheem sessions, our sessions, we implore you to do all of your actions in accordance with the Quran, the Sunnah, and the way of the rightly guided scholars. That's in general, right? Let's avoid the haram, fulfill our obligations, and be good Muslims. I was just walking with my son, taking a walk. He's a little guy, you know, a little under 2 years old. And we were walking, and I was listening to Imam Naeem giving a biography of Imam Uthman, or Sheikh Uthman Danfodio, or the Shehu. And he was talking about around him were a bunch of righteous scholars and awliya and pious people. And as I was walking, holding the hand of my son, I had like a sadness came over me, right? A sadness came over me. And that sadness, because I was thinking, whenever we talk about awliya of Allah, sheikhs in Islam, it seemed like we never are talking about our own reality, right? And even me, if you listen to me in the morning, you don't hear us much talking about awliya from among us, right? If you listen to us, we're always talking about, and that's a good thing, awliya and salihun and pious people from everybody but us. And honestly, it brought a sadness. I'm happy to hear about it, but a sadness like, and I started to think as I was walking with my little son, I'm thinking, who's going to be the awliya he look up from among us? Right? Is he going to say, Imam Faheem, that great wali of Allah, Imam Naeem, that great wali of Allah? Is he going to have that outlook? My dad was a great wali of Allah, a great scholar, a sheikh, a pious man, right? That's something that really, it disturbed me for real. I really like almost brought tears to my eyes thinking about it. Because if I be honest, truly honest, when I think of the awliya, it is subconsciously, as if truly we got to stretch it to say so-and-so among us was among the awliya, and really feel that way. Not just, we're just saying it just to say we got awliya too. I'm talking about just as we talk about the others, from no matter where they're from, we begin to have that narrative about ourselves. I talk about Imam al-Haddad, or I'll talk about Sheikh Samir, or I'll talk about others among my teachers. And I can run down lineages and connections, and he was a great sheikh, and he was a great sheikh, and this was a wali, and this was a wali. But when I talk about us, it's not like that. And it shouldn't remain like that. So often in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, what do we need to do to adjust this situation so that future generations of our children have some reverence for themselves in their environment and establish Islam like the others established Islam. If you should go back to the video for the class today that was at 5:30 for Imam Naeem, I suggest all of you go to his page and listen to that video, that class he gave at 5:30. It was excellent. Talking about Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio and talking about how they fought against the enemies of Islam and how they established their khilafah, and it was an amazing story. And I discovered something just to share with you, right? That, he mentioned that he was the mujaddid of his time. And the Prophet ﷺ said the mujaddid is at the head of every 100 years, right? Do you know Imam Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio? I never knew this. I just heard it from you today. He died exactly 100 years after Imam al-Haddad. That's deep. Imam al-Haddad died 1132. Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio, rahimahullah, died 1232. Right? That's some deep stuff right there, right? Like, these great awliya, they established some beautiful stuff, right? Every 100 years, and then 100 years later, after they say about Imam al-Haddad, he was the mujaddid of his time, 100 years later in Africa, another mujaddid passed at the same year in the 100 mark. That was, to me, that was like, I was like, wow, that's nice, right? So go check that video, check his link out. It's very, very, very interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'll be patient with him and see if he behaves himself. If not, we'll warn him, and then will ask him to kindly be escorted out the building. So let's give him a chance first. So my point in mentioning that is, if Imam Naim can put the link of your video up so that people can go to it. It was very nice, man. It was very good, a good job. So I thought the second thing, Imam Naim had been on fire for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if y'all know that, man. He's just been firing, shooting threes like what's that guy's name for the Warriors? The dude who shoot all the 3-pointers.
Steph Curry, my little brother.
Yeah, Naim been shooting deep beyond the 3-point line, like all net, all week long, all month long. He's just on fire. Like, just give him the ball, you know? But he said something that he said, if we don't get this family thing together, we're going to be in trouble. And that resonated with me. It was like real powerful. And I was thinking, in order to get the family thing together, we got to get this marriage thing together. Because you don't have families without marriage. Marriage produces families. And if marriages are broken, toe up from the flow up, need a makeover, then I don't know what's going to happen with that family that comes from that marriage, right? And I think we need to think about that. So I want to have that talk today. And I ask everyone to check the size of your shoes so you don't think I'm stepping on your toes. It may be that your feet are too big, right? So that's my corny joke, right? So I want to have that talk. So I'm going to turn it on to the brothers. I have some things to say, but I want to turn it on to Imam Naim first, because Imam Naim has been having a headache with me over the last couple of weeks with all this marriage stuff. So I'll let him take first.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa afdalu salatu wa atamu taslim ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wa radiyallahu ta'ala ana sadati tabi'een wa ulama al-amalin wa a'immat al-arba'at al-mujtahideen wa maqalidihim ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah. My opening comments are very short because I believe that a lot of the problems that we have always go back to the beginning of the affair. The Sufis have a saying, Nihayatuka fi bidayatuka. Your ending is in the beginning. In other words, the reason why your ending turned out like that is based upon how you started it. You know, and so a lot of times when we are trying to get married, we trying to start our families, a lot of times even our intention is to get married for the sake of getting married. A lot of times also, before getting married, a lot of conditions aren't fulfilled. A few days ago, I did a video called Marriage is Worship. And I was trying to draw a corollary between how in our acts of worship, our ritual acts of worship, our ibadat, like salat, wudu, and all of these things, they have specific conditions that must be fulfilled and must be prerequisites that have to be there before you even begin to act. And then when you start to act, they have fara'id, or they have arkan, they have pillars that have to remain in place for the act to continue to be valid. And then you have sunan, those type of things in the act of worship that give you more reward. You should do it. You shouldn't leave them off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the point that I was trying to make is that marriage is also worship. And if we begin to look at our marriage the same way we look at our salat, we will see a better outcome. Because even in our marriages, a lot of us, when we think about getting married, conditions aren't fulfilled. Like, we don't look at it the same way we look at prayer. A lot of times, and I told the story before. It happened recently, but it happened way more than one time. That I'm dealing with a couple, and the sister's still Islamically married to her previous husband, but she's entertaining marriage with someone else. One of the conditions of a valid nikah is that the woman has to be eligible or marriageable, which obviously means she can still be married to someone else, right? And we haven't even gotten that basic yet. Like, we be so into wanting to do what we want to do that we don't even do the check boxes to make sure everything is okay. Like, we call triage. We don't know what questions to ask just to even get past the conditions. And so, so we need to treat our marriages like other acts of worship and make sure that we have the conditions are in place before we go. Make sure that we maintain the pillars to make sure that our marriages stay valid, all the way throughout. But it's not being done like that most of the time. And so this is why we see what we see, right? There's this brother in our community. He's a real quiet brother, but he has a street background, right? And he a lot of times he mentors children, and one time he brought them to the Masjid, right? And so you got one brother that he ain't really got no adab or nothing like that. So he's talking to, and these not Muslim children. So he's talking that we eat an iftar. This was several years ago. He comes to the, and he just, this other brother, he talks to the brother. He talks to one of the children, the non-Muslim children, who's your Abu, right? Child don't know what an Abu is, right? Like what are you asking? And the brother who, the Muslim who these kids came with was like, basically, leave them alone. I got them. They with me. And the brother's like, what's wrong, Aki? I'm just asking asking the child who he came here with. Who's this Abu, right? And so, and like, he's trying to tell him without saying, like, these are special needs children, like, just calm down, like, pump your brakes. And first of all, ain't none of your business who they came with. Just chill. They with me. I told you they with me. Stop trying to engage them. Young brother, I just want to know who you came here with. Who's your Abby? You coming here with your Abby, your Umi, right? And so the brother said, listen, man, I told you not to say nothing to him. You keep talking, man. He said, no, I don't like the way you talking to me. Why you raising your voice? Such and such and so and so. He said, listen, I ain't gonna say no more. I'm just telling you, don't say nothing else to him. He said, then what? And he said, then we see what we see there, right? He said, we'll see what we see. And it's like that with the marriages, right? People don't want to follow the rules. They don't want to establish the conditions. They don't want to adhere to the protocols laid down. And so they ask questions, well, what's going to happen if I don't follow the protocols? We're going to see what we see. We're just going to see what we see. That's my opening comments, that, the secret to our ending, why our stuff is ending out like this, always go back to the beginning. How did it start? Sometimes we poisoned, we undermined our marriage before we even got started, right? We wanted the booty, right? We got the booty. What else you want? You want a wholesome family too, right? Your intention was for the booty. You got the booty. What else you want, right? So, or maybe you did something before that you wasn't supposed to do, right? With the sisters, like we contaminate our own situations before they even start half the time. And then we wonder why we see what we see. So we have to begin the thing right. And a lot of times we don't want to adhere to the rules and the protocols, not only of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala laid down in the Sharia and the book and the Sunnah and the consensus, but even within the community. And most of us, we don't follow the rules and we can't follow the rules because we don't know the rules and we don't want to stick around long enough to learn the rules. So if you don't know it, how can you follow it? But the secret is always in the beginning, not in the end, in the middle. It's in the beginning. So those are my opening comments. And I spoke longer than I intended to, but alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa min tabi'ahum bi ihsani ila yawm ad-din wa ba'd. What's going on, y'all? Did y'all miss me? It's the Imam of the Boom Bat, aka Falito Brigante, aka Five Curry, the Garden State Warrior, aka Red Caesar, aka Nino Red. I got a whole bunch of names.
And the crowd goes wild.
Mashallah. Well, it's good to see everybody here. Alhamdulillah. We thank you for taking your time to tune in with us. We hope everyone's Ramadan was successful. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it from us. And, as we go on, inshallah, first things first, I don't know if you can see this, the first order of business. Pay that fee. You think I wasn't going to mention it? You thought you wasn't going to pay the cover fee? You think it don't cost to talk to us? Let's go. You see the cash up there. Let's get that money going, all right? I got mine. What about you? And I got VIP status. I don't even got to pay. But I pay anyway, inshallah. All right, so, alhamdulillah, we see our topic tonight is about marriage. And both of my fellow illustrious Imams covered a lot of topics. It's very important. And it is very vital for us to really look at this, revisit this topic of marriage and how we've been approaching it, because a lot of times we've been doing things that are really detrimental to our growth as communities. And it starts with a marriage. It starts with you as a man and a woman who are capable and able of getting married for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and putting together two personalities, two sometimes conflicting personalities, and to get married and to have a union and to have harmony and chemistry for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, it's a miracle. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. From among his signs that he created you and created from amongst you spouses that you may have sakina with them. This is something very important to keep this unity, and we need it, because as a people we're failing with marriages, and we have to get this concept that getting married is for fulfilling desires or even securing love. There's a saying that says that love is defined as a temporary insanity that is curable by marriage. A temporary insanity that is curable by marriage, meaning that marriage is a reality. The romanticism, it goes out the window, and I know in my experience, most of the times I see sisters who are looking for this romantic kind of, knight in shining armor kind of person that's going to come and sweep them off their feet. And then we got brothers looking at nowadays, they're not even looking to come and take care of the situation and establish their kawama that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. You're looking to see if the woman got this kind of money, what they can get off of her, what we used to call it back in the day, like smooching off a woman. I think that's the word they used to use. I used to hear old heads smooching off a woman. It was like, unacceptable. You know what I mean?
Mooching.
And smooching, whatever, sponging off a woman, whenever you can use any adjective you want, but we got to get back to this concept of men being men and women being women, having clear identity roles and just fulfilling them to the best of our ability, and it's really that simple. Is it always going to be ideal? No. Is it always going to be happy? No. Is it always going to be love? No. But if it's always for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it will always be worth it, because marriage is endurance, it's flexibility, it's forgiveness, it's overlooking the faults, it's hanging in there, it's arguing, it's making up, it's having disagreements, it's being outside in the middle of the night. Sometimes the police come in the picture, it's sometimes go take a break or go to your mom's house, your dad's house, so it's a lot of things, but when it's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's all worth it, and we got to get back to that, especially men. And men have the big responsibility in the marriage. Men have the big responsibility. I was having a discussion earlier, on a forum, and there was a scenario about, okay, if a man takes a woman out to like eat dinner, and the bill is like $70 something, and he asked the woman to pay the tip, and then the woman, like, after the date was over, of course we don't do dating in Islam, just scenario. After the date was over, the woman called him and said, if you broke, don't take me out on no date, So the whole concept was about, was the woman wrong in saying that to the man? And my view was, look, the man, like, the man's supposed to take care of everything. You know what I mean? You take it under your wing, you try to handle it, and if you can't take care of it, you find a way to take care of it, and you try to remove all of the burdens as possible within your capacity. So if you, like, and the scenario is funny, if you spend the $70 on a meal, which ain't nothing, what's the other 15% for a tip? You pay it. Your job is to make a woman happy. You know what I'm saying? And we got to get back to pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these marriages, which means that our own happiness may be compromised a little bit. Our own happiness may be compromised a little bit, but the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what we supposed to be doing this for. And Imam Amin was alluding to it earlier. These marriages, these sound marriages, really make up a community. And if we find our community is broken because we are individuals, we're broken, and we're not taking the time to heal. Marriage is it's a lot of work. I always, when I conduct nikahs, I always use this saying that marriage is like sleeping with the enemy every night. It's like sleeping with the enemy every night, because someone that you can love and you can adore and you love being around, at the very next moment, you guys could be arguing with each other over really something trivial, then the next day you got to try to do it all again and start over. I mean, that's what marriage is. There's no plateau that you reach. Each day is a new opportunity to try to get it right, and you have to be careful, make sure you just don't fall into a routine, because then it can become boring, it can become redundant, and you got to find a way to kindle that fire, So, but, getting back to what we're saying, we need to be clean. We need to be free and clear of how we are entering into these contracts, and especially with the social media, I mean, too many stories I've heard about, people already developing relationships before the wakil or the deputy is even contacted. You know what I'm saying? Women going for okie doke stuff normally they wouldn't go for, and any other time that these women that don't miss a thing, they're strong, their mind is sharp, you can't get nothing past them. And now all of a sudden, this okie doke, this okie doke nigga comes with a halfway speech, and then all of a sudden, well, maybe, yeah, it'll work, Oh, I know he don't got no job, and inshallah, we make dua. He's a cold nigga. He was a cold nigga. He showed every signs of being a nigga, and you went for it. And now we supposed to fix it. So one of the things that we offer is that we need to be proactive dealing with us, so we can at least, interview brothers. You know what I'm saying? Interview brothers, check them out. Offer a perspective that you might not see because you might be blinded by the brother's charm and the finesse. And that's part of a woman's nature. They say that the way to a woman's heart is through her ears. You know what I mean? So if a man, what we used to call back in the day, if he's shooting the gift, he's shooting the gift. A lot of women, even they'll tell themselves, I'm strong, independent, I ain't going for it. But if he shoot the gift right, you go for it. You know what I mean? So you got to stop going for it. And then we got to stand up and be men. If you enter into a situation, don't be dishonest with a woman. If some of your reservations about a woman having children or having more than one baby father or being married a number of times or anything like that, don't enter into it. Or if you enter into it, find out a way where you're going to relieve that sister of a lot of her burdens and a lot of things that she's carrying, because that's what she's looking for. That's what she's looking for you to be a savior, and you might not be capable of doing it, but if you enter into it as a man, you got to figure it out. You better figure it out. You know what I mean? Because if you want to have endurance in a marriage, you as men, we are pre-wired to figure it out. You gotta figure it out. That's what Kawama is, being like a manager, a coach, man. You gotta quarterback this thing. You know what I mean? You gotta get to the red zone every single day. You know what I mean? With the potential to score, inshallah ta'ala. So, but we got to get back to that, and we got to keep it clean. Man, Amin stated earlier that we ain't doing no we got to edit our words. We ain't doing no F-boy stuff with these marriages. You know what I'm saying? We being straight up, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, I could tell you plenty of horror stories, man. I mean, at times where, you know, Muslims almost got their head busted open because of some nonsense, you know what I mean? And then the other part, sisters, you know, stop exaggerating. Stop exaggerating all the time, you know? I mean, I got some stories I could tell you. I mean, I should write a book. But I'm not going to go into it too deep, but let's get these marriages together, because if we see our community struggling, we see our communities always trying to, you know, get together, it's because our marriages, that chemistry and that harmony between men and women is vital for us to grow, because children need this, you know, and then the institution of marriage and family and traditional family has been attacked, especially with our people, you know, so we're fighting on so many fronts to try to have a traditional kind of, you know, where a man is the household, he's making the decisions, you know, he's navigating the ship, you know, he's taking care of the finances. Where he can't take care of the finances, he's helping this woman to make sure that she doesn't lose it. You know what I'm saying? And how do you do all that and keep your own self together? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, you know, and it's just a lot of work, and you can't. It's something that you got to live and you got to experience. You can read it in books, you know, but you just got to be on the job training. And like Imam Amin said, you know, a lot of times we have to treat marriage just like it is, a contract. Sometimes we want it more than to be just what it is, a contract. It's a contract between two parties. They agree to uphold certain things, stipulations, obligations, rights and duties, and responsibilities. And it's just like a job, you know. It always baffles me how someone, you know, you ever seen those kind of people that come to work every day and they be on the job for 30 years and I hate this daggone place. I'm tired of this, man. As soon as I get another job, I'm leaving, you know, and there's no other job that they was even looking for, because subconsciously they're complacent with that job. You know, they happy. They show up to work every day. They get employee of the month every month. They get all the, you know, the bonuses. And, you know, we need to treat our marriages like that. You know, some of us, unfortunately, we show more proficiency on our jobs than we do in our marriages. You know, we're put up with people that don't like us. That happens in a marriage. We'll go through all types of BS. You know, we can't get through it. You know, we don't know how we're going to do it. We can't wait to get out to it until the time ends, and treat the marriage the same way. You know what I mean? And it ain't always going to be happy, you know. And historically, if you look at marriages, you know, a lot of them, you know, there's a book, I can't remember the name of, it's talking about the history of marriages. And marriages were mostly like arranged for political reasons or to keep blood ties or things like that. And they said this modern thing of marriage being this romanticized, you know, this leave it to beaver kind of thing, where, you know, you come home and the wife is perfectly dressed and not a thing is out of place, and she's in the kitchen. You come home with your business suit, you know, she's in the kitchen cooking it up, and the kids are all clean, the room is tidy, the lawn is fresh cut every single day. That's a fantasy. A real marriage, you come home, there's stuff all over the place, it's kids crying, you know, the wife, where you been at, screaming at you. It's your fault every single day. You know what I mean? You got to fix it. Where you been at, when you coming home, these kids get on my nerves and all that kind of stuff. So, but all of it is worth it to have a spouse that is suitable for you, somebody that's compatible for you, someone that you can talk to, someone that you can communicate with, someone that can feel your pain, someone that can stroke your ego, someone that can let you know that tomorrow is going to be good, you know, and that's the reality of marriage. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm over my time or not, and I think they kind of sucked me in to keep talking. That's why I turned the cameras off. Is that what it is, Imam? Yeah, but marriage is it's a lot of work.
Yeah, one of the things that I was thinking about that was that I think we need to look at this thing in several ways. Number one, and I was telling my brother, he's a non-Muslimness, but me and my brother, you know, we go back and we rap. Me and my brother is very close, right? So we talk about all kinds of stuff, you know, and we grew up together. So my brother's very familiar with Islam, and you know, we've seen a lot. And I said to him, one of the things we have to stop doing as Muslims is stop living unrealistic fantasy, as you called it, right? Islam. Islam was meant, and I told this to Imam Naeem earlier, to be practiced within the context of reality, right? It's not some concept that's not practical. In other words, and I think that's why a lot of us really don't practice Islam. We have an outward form, but it's really shallow. It's fake. I ain't talking about the faith in your heart. I'm talking about that show you got going on, right? And that's where you'll find some of us as Imams, we get a little frustrated and we'll say, like I said this morning or the other day when we were talking to people, and I said to them, I said, hey man, stop bull crapping me. I'm from the streets. You full of crap. You know, we have another word. I ain't gonna say that. And, you know, we're gonna put a rated, what's that? PG. Because sometimes you talk to people and they talk like you Joe Bag of Donuts. And you don't, like, I don't know nothing. Oh, you know, you just been overseas studying, or you've been sitting with the sheikhs. You know, you stupid. You don't know what's going on. And then I get to my Imam Faheem word. Listen, ninja. Or meme fa, I know what you're saying, right? Right? You know you be wanting to go there sometime, right? You know what I'm saying. Am I right, Imam Faheem? So
facts.
Right. So, you know, I think let us get to a point that we have a standard in our lives that is not Fantasy Island. So someone say, how did the prophet leave? You're not the prophet. You're not even trying to be the prophet. So why are you talking about that? How was the prophet's marriages? You're not trying to do anything like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know it and I know it. Let's be real. Right? Be real. Right? You need to be like the least of the companions, not Sayyidina Muhammad. How about try that? Right? What was the least of the companions like? That might be more possible close to your reality. And now, once you got that, now let's work up to how the prophet was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? Are y'all following me? I hope you're following where I'm going. I'm not saying he said don't follow the sunnah. No, you're not following the sunnah. So we're going to talk about don't follow the sunnah. You're not following the sunnah, or we wouldn't be having this conversation. Right? Like, so cut it out. Right? So I'll give you an example. Let me show you this, not the sunnah. Not the sunnah. I want to get married. I go find the most unlearned person in Islam to be my wali. Not the sunnah. I want to get married. I'm going to go find the most unlearned person about the deen to take care of my religious affairs in regards to marriage. What kind of sunnah is that? The person is my wali, doesn't know the rules of marriage. In fact, the person's my wali, not married. In fact, the person my wali is fornicating. And that's my wali. The brother, don't go to the imam. He gonna be in the way. He's too strict. Let's get somebody else. Let's go imam shopping. Not the sunnah. Let's go imam shopping. That imam is too strict. You know, he gonna block. He gonna block. He gonna block. Sister, you might need someone who's gonna block this guy. You got the wali. Let's keep it real, y'all. We got a wali. We kicking it. We doing everything. The wali don't have a clue what's going on. The wali don't know nothing. Then you talk to the wali, I didn't know that. They didn't tell me nothing. Wali's not just for the marriage contract. When we get together, here, you know what I'm saying? You sign your name and you give me away. No, he's supposed to know what's going on. He's supposed to be able to check. The sister says, I don't got nobody, so I'm going to get, whoever. SubhanAllah. These things are not sunnah. So the very one who's talking about sunnah is not even trying to follow the sunnah. So let's bring this to more practical. Hey, don't do that. Let's put some boundaries around us to protect us, right? One thing that I say is, right, we can quote Quran and Sunnah all day. And we quote Quran and Sunnah all day. But are we living Quran and Sunnah really when we're doing stuff? And we know, because we're quoting it, so obviously we know we're not living it, right? We're not living that because we're quoting it. So it's not like we don't know the Quran and Sunnah. So maybe that standard is not a reality that's reflective in our situation. And we need to be more on the ground of what's really, really happening. So what I say to us, like I'll give you an example. I got so many, but I'm just trying to get you the point. Did the Prophet pay that much for a dowry? Was the Sahaba giving that much for a dowry? Okay, let me wake you up. The Prophet didn't have an electric bill. The Prophet didn't have a gas bill. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't live in a house that cost $5,000 a month to run. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have a bunch of dunya. Since we talk about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have to have car insurance. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't work for Mr. Charlie. You know, Mr. Charlie's the non-Muslim. The Prophet didn't do that, right? So these are all realities that you're not factoring in. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mostly everybody in his circle had a family. Dad, mom, even if they weren't Muslim, they never abandoned their families or their tribes. So they had a tribe to support them. So there wasn't women just walking around loose and doing whatever they want because they had a tribe. She's from our tribe. No way you're going to abuse her. Do you understand that? There wasn't no all my single ladies. That wasn't existing in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That wasn't even the society that wasn't accepted. You follow what I mean? So these are realities that you deal with all the time that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't deal with. He didn't deal with them. You dealing with them. His society was not like that. Right? So that's real. I watch a sister and brothers, so I don't want to be biased, but our sisters, because our sisters have lost all respect for themselves. And somebody said to me earlier, I said, listen, if you see somebody on Facebook in this Black Imams Roundtable, on Post-Fajr Reflections or Scattered Thoughts or Imam Naeem's classes or Imam Faheem's classes, pushing themselves in marriage, trust me, 9 times out of 10, they have been down that road at least 3 to 4 times with other brothers. The same road you're going down, that sister been down that road with somebody else. You're not the first. So that means she's perfected her craft of hunting. And she got a checklist, and she's fishing. And she throw the fish back in the ocean when she don't find what she want. And no one's guiding that decision but her. Sisters, likewise, the brother is doing the same thing. Right? The brothers are doing the same thing. Assalamu alaikum, sister, you know, Allah said, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and blah, 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 you know, right? And that brother then ran that same game to about 4 or 5 sisters on. In fact, not only is he running the game to you, simultaneously, he's running the game to somebody else too. Same game. He could almost have a playbook for that phony line he got going on. And you sitting there like, alhamdulillah, brother, he's so deep. I'll give you an example. A woman told me, she said, Imam, I need to talk to you. I said, alhamdulillah. So I talked to the sister, Imam, I got to talk. No, she said to me, she said, I'm really stimulated by an intelligent man. I said, what the hell? I'm really stimulated by an intelligent man, brother Imam. I said, all right, I don't need to be talking to you. So I guess you're not talking to me, right? But that's what he said to me.
Nah, she wasn't talking about you, man.
I know.
She's talking about the other guy.
Right. And it's a word they got for that. I forget the name of the word. Right. And I said, yeah, that big old word y'all got, sapiosexual. And then she said to me, let's study. I said, my wife teach every Wednesday. You can go study with her. But now that's game. Come to find out, she said that same line to another Imam. I said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And I wasn't mad at her. I was like, you see what I'm talking about? Because I went to the other Imam and said, this sister is looking for a husband and she like a smart Imam. He said, man, she told me the same thing. I'm not, you can't make this stuff up. I'm dead serious.
Closed mouth don't get fed.
And then, yeah, I'm snitching tonight, man. I'm telling you, right? And then I had another Imam. I'm talking about Imams. I get a call. Yo, man, what you think about this sister? I'm like, oh, stop. This is too much. And I'm quite sure the brothers is doing the same thing. Y'all just ain't connected. You don't realize that the Imams are all together. We talk. We talk. Right? So what I'm saying, I'm mentioning that not to criticize, to show you that this game is being played between us, on us. by us, between us, on us, by us, and we need to stop. Right? So for the brothers, we are doing it. For the women, you're doing it. And that is the culture, unfortunately, that we got to change. It's an unfortunate culture that we need to change. And if you remember, I said something. I said, listen, what we should do is have a council of imams, and I mentioned us three as an example. And whenever somebody want to get married that comes with us, before you even start talking, we going to the imams council. We're going to talk to the imams. Because the imam already is experienced with the game. He's in all the games all the time. He knows the game. He sees the dope fiend moves and the crackhead moves before they happen. He see them already. He know the dope fiend move. That's figurative for the marriage dope fiend move, or the crackhead dope fiend move. He's aware of it. Why? Because he saw it probably about 40 or 50 times before you running it. He's aware of it. So where does the wali come in place? The wali comes into place when he's trained to be a wali. The wali comes in place when he's trained to be a wali. If I'm a brother of knowledge, I learned, I studied. If a sister come to me and said, this is my wali, and I'm talking to that wali, and I know that wali don't know the rules of the religion, it would be obvious to me to say, this brother don't know what he's doing. Sister, he's not a good wali. We should go to the imam. Right? We should, like this wali doesn't know. He ain't got to be a bad guy. He don't know the rules of the religion. He's just, I'm looking out for you, sis. Maybe he's a family member, but he can't look out because he don't know the rules. He's relying on her to tell him what she wants to do. That's not a wali. A father or an uncle or a brother who is religious and concerned for the woman, he knows the rules of the religion and what is best for the interest for the woman. He's not letting her tell him what he needs to do. Do you understand the wali's role? So this is the thing you got to do. I'm a wali for my daughter. No one's going to tell me, my daughter's not going to tell me what to do. Look, this is the rules of the religion. This is what kind of husband I want for my daughter. And even when she is being googly eyes, she going to get a no from me. Absolutely not. So when sisters come to me, I say, listen, I'm going to treat you like I would treat my daughter. And maybe that's why they don't come to me. But I'm going to treat you like I treat my daughter. My daughter is not going to go for a guy who can't pay the bills. That's not going to happen. So I'm not going to let you go for a guy who can't pay the bills. Right? No guy's going to come to my daughter and say, I'm a businessman, but his business don't make no money. You mean you want to be a businessman? That's not going to happen. No guy's going to come to my daughter and tell me, well, I can give you $1,000, but you can't know how much I make. Well, you ain't marrying my daughter. No, you're not. Naeem, you going to let somebody marry your daughter that you don't know if they can take care of her? Imam?
Nope.
Imam Faheem?
Nope. No.
Right? So why would we let a sister marry a brother who we don't know if he can take care of her? But the brother will say, why are you all about dunya and making these high demands on money? Because I want you to take care of the sister. The religion wants you to take care of the sister. Imam Faheem just said you have to maintain the sister. You don't have no money to maintain the sister in America. She don't live in Saudi Arabia in the 7th century. She lives in the United States of America in the 21st century. She has needs and bills and children and responsibilities. Even if she don't got no children, it's real. She has ambitions. So I'm saying these are realistic things in addition to the rules of Quran and Sunnah. In addition, and they fall within the rules in the Quran and Sunnah. So what you're really saying, find the minimum thing I got to do, find me be the perfect Islamic bum, and then give me your daughter. La, I'm not giving you my daughter. And that sister who I'm a wali is going to be like she's treated like my daughter. I'm not giving you her either. So not me. So what I don't want to be long-winded, but this is how we got to start treating each other, because that's going to be the beginning. And the sisters, because they may be lonely sometimes, it's hard to find a man, they'll settle for what they know they're not going to settle for in reality. At the beginning, but what's going to happen? He can't take care of me. You knew that before you married him. You knew that. You knew he ain't had no money. You knew he wasn't deaning. You knew he don't go to class. You already knew all that stuff. I just want somebody to be teaching me to dean. No, you don't. You might want that. That's not all you want. I just want to be in love. That's not true. And truth is very important. And it's not haram to tell the truth. It's not unlawful. In fact, it's obligatory to tell the truth. So we're going to go into the Quran and Sunnah aspect of these things, but I don't want to put on cloudy glasses with Quran and Sunnah and forget reality. Go ahead, Imam Naeem.
MashaAllah. What's wrong with the cloudy glasses?
Cloudy glasses means I'm going to need some Tylenol when they come back telling me how the marriage is falling apart. That's what's wrong with those cloudy glasses.
You know, a lot of times all of this goes back to almost every subject that we talk about. It always goes back to undermining or not being a part of, or not, wanting to be part of community. It always seems to go back there, which shows you the insight of Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who said, "Innahu la islama illa bi jama'atin, wa la jama'ata illa bi imaratin, wa la imarata illa bi ta'atin," which means, verily there is no Islam without community, and there can be no community without leadership, and there can be no leadership without hearing or obedience. And this is everybody wants to be a rebel. Everybody wants to do their own thing, and a lot of times we don't know how stuff is supposed to look, because we don't see it. All of us are actually trailblazers and pathfinders. We're making this thing. We are actually making history. We are making our culture. Because this environment that we live in is not a natural environment, and a lot of us don't realize it's not a natural environment. Like the Quran and Sunnah is the blueprint. It's the format. Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell us what's minimum. We confuse the minimum requirements with what we should be doing optimally, and especially when it comes to marriage. In other areas of the deen too, but especially when it comes to marriage. And so we're like, okay, wali, check. Dowry, check, right? And we trying to do the minimum with everything, but that's not real. That's not real. And the reason, and we're not living in reality, and so a lot of times our marriages are destroyed. Most of our marriages don't have no family support. We say, because family's not Muslim. Well, yeah, but you're still part of a family. Like when I married my African wife, right? When the situation came up about marriage, it wasn't like, okay, we just, just skirt past everybody else and talk to the wali. No. Once we decided we wanted to get married, they had to present it. And my wife, both her parents are deceased. May Allah have mercy on them. They're deceased. So her uncles, she had one particular uncle that was her wali, but it wasn't like I was just only dealing with that one uncle, right? That was a family decision. And so when it was said, what's the brother want to, marry, our daughter, our niece? He's from America. The first response was, hell no. You're from America. Some of these uncles, it's not like, oh, see, they racist, they don't like black people. Some of these uncles lived in America. The nigga stuff we talking about right now, they saw it with their own eyes. They said, no, we don't want that for our family. No. Then it was said, no. This is not a regular brother. He's an Imam, blah, 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 blah. He's good, blah, 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 blah. And then, if I didn't have to get in my car, I might have pulled up and, well, I can't do it on a live video, but I'd have shown some pictures of the wedding ceremony. You look at the pictures, it's 3 Imams there, it's all her uncles there, and everybody had something to say. And even I was there, but I had people speaking for me, the elder of the community that I'm attached to there. Speaking, it was a family affair. It wasn't just some individual thing, me and you going off to the side, picking and choosing who we want to be involved in the situation, and then we're going to get married. No, this is a family affair. And that's an issue that's a point that a lot of us Americans don't get. Everybody else around the world understands that, Muslim and non-Muslim, that you getting married is not just about you and the one you marrying. This is about all of us, and we all got a say in it. And I think as Muslims, and we use the excuse that a lot of us are Muslims and our family's not Muslim, so, or we use that as an excuse to X them out the process, we only really hurting ourselves. And so this is a family affair. Marriage in and of itself is a family affair, and we hurting ourselves by treating it because like we all say, the marriage is a contract. Yes, that's the bare minimum, the contract aspect part, to make sure all the conditions are fulfilled, their rights, everyone has rights and responsibilities. We want to make sure all of those things are taken care of. Yes, that's the bare minimum. That's the shurut and the fara'id. But marriage is more than that. Marriage involves some sunnah and some nawafil as well, and some fadila, some merits as well. That's what keeps the marriage going. If we try to continue to keep, build Islamic families, thereby building Islamic communities on the bare minimum, we messed up, because we can't even do our salat like that. You say, well, I ain't doing no fard. Yeah, I ain't doing no sunnah. I'm only doing the 5 prayers. You heard the hadith when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked by the Bedouin, and he said, if you don't do no more than that, then you good, right? Well, that's what I'm doing, the bare minimum with salat. You try that mess with your salat, knowing that the first thing you're going to be questioned about is your salat, knowing that you're not perfect, you're going to make salat, and you ain't got no nawafil salat to cover for your mistakes in your fard salat. You play that game if you want, but we playing it with our marriages, though. We're not doing the extra. We're doing the bare minimum, and we see what we see. I can't see no comments, so y'all gotta tell me what people saying.
All right, Imam Faheem, let me go pray for 5 minutes, and then you can go, if you can just follow Imam Amin with the questions. Give me like 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna recite like Al Baqarah and Ali Imran like I usually do.
Yeah. MashaAllah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Imam Amin mentioned something very significant, and I remember some of you don't know, my daughter just got married in December. She's only 19, and you know, it was a process of trying to find someone who was suitable for her. And I surprisingly enough, I'd question him, but I didn't put a lot of stipulations on him. You know, what I did mention to him, I said, listen, man, I want you to look me in my eye and tell me that you're going to take care of my daughter. So he looked me in my eye. He told me that. And I said, listen, this is the kind I'm looking for. I said, I'm looking for Frank White on the train. So he's only 21. He don't know who Frank White is from King of New York. I said, listen, go watch King of New York and go to the train scene where Frank White was on the train with the girl and the guys tried to rob him. I said, so then he went, I guess he went and watched it. I said, but that's what I'm looking for. When my daughter's with you, you know, she's under your protection and your care, you know. I mean, of course, my only daughter, I'm looking for her to be safe and secure. But at the same time, it's really not my business. She's on her own. She has to go through her own journey in marriage. And I can't, you know, visualize my expectations in the marriage of how I want him to be, or how I think she should be, according to my standards, because it's going to be different. But I did, you know, I said, listen, that's what I'm looking for. You got to be Frank White, but not, you know, not no criminal, just a, you know, gangster. You know what I'm saying? You know, my daughter, when she's with you, nothing better not happen to her. You know what I mean? That's all I'm looking for mostly. You know, you can learn together. You know, he's already a striving young man. You know, we already secured that. He prays. You know, he's enthusiastic about Islam. So, alhamdulillah. And, you know, they've been married a few months. So, and I mean, I check on him every once in a while. We talk, you know, just about every day. And, you know, I'm happy. But at the same, like Imam Amin was saying, you know, any sisters, you know, that's one of the things I did. Listen, I tell a brother, look, okay, this is the scenario. This is my makeshift daughter. You trying to marry her. Tell me something, man, that you could convince me as a father that would make me want to give her your hand in marriage, you know. And then when if they start winning the okie doke, you know, okay, then I had to tell the sister, well, you know, because I wouldn't marry my daughter to a person that's running game. But at the same time, a lot of these sisters, you know, they're not our daughters, and a lot of them don't be connected to our community. There's this one big thing that we need to take care of. Be connected to a community, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, don't make excuses for yourself that they too strict and all that. Be with your community, ride or die. Everybody else does it except us. We, you know, we fatwa shopping, we imam shopping, you know. And lately, you know, I used to try to accommodate people because I know how difficult it is. But now I start right from the beginning. Listen, my fee to get married is $200, $300, depending on who's asking. You know what I mean? And I don't hear from them no more. So that's a filter, you know, because I don't want people to, because people, unfortunately, they're not being sincere, and they already got a whole you know, they already got a whole script together before you even meet up with them, you know. And then everybody's arguing their same story to make themselves look good, you know, all the lines. Well, you know, we went to a father, you know, he ain't really on his deen. So no, you can't bypass a woman's father if she's Muslim. And if he's non-Muslim, you know, one of the first things I ask, did you meet her family? Did you meet his family? Oh no, you know, they kuffar. No, that Kafir father and mother's the one that raised you, Walter. They raised you, you know what I mean? And Susan, or I can't think of a black name, but Susan came to my mind for some reason. But they raised you. They know you. You should be consulting parents, you know what I mean? And one of the things that I try to make as a stipulation is that when you get married, bring your family. Bring your mom and your dad, whoever your guardian. Bring them to the masjid. Just tell them they have to dress modest. You know, let them witness this is an important event in your life. You know, this ain't just the bare minimum how we looking at to make a situation halal. To them, it's a very big process. It's a very big event, and it should be to us. You know what I mean? So don't just, you know, okay, I got a set of Sahih Bukhari, I got an overgarment, or I got a ring, you know. No, do some, has some, you know, has some ism, man, has some honor about it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we just got to really, and sincerity is a big part of it. If you sincere and you looking for this person to be your means to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then most of the times it'll work out. Will it work out all the time? No, it won't, you know. I mean, I've been, alhamdulillah, I've been married for 23 years, but I had 2 other marriages as well that didn't work out, and mashallah. But, but sincerity is a big part of it, but, cut out all of the stuff that comes. I mean, one sister came to me and just told me straight out, there's a lot of baggage behind what I'm going to tell you. Okay, why you bring this to me? I mean, we're imams, that we got open lines of communication. We service people, It ain't hard to reach us. It ain't hard to catch us. Why bring us all of the drama? You know what I'm saying? Why bring us the drama when we're here at your service, to try to help you along, and we get all the backlash and all this stuff, and it's crazy, and it's really sickening, you know what I mean? And I think, I think I can speak for all of us, when I say we getting too old for this crap, man. We getting too old to be dealing with this ninja crap. You know what I'm saying? And it's played out, but have sincerity and just try to, and I gotta say this, man, stop making marriage more than what it is. The expectations be killing us a lot. I forget who said it. They said that men marry women hope they will never change, and women marry men hoping that they will change, and ultimately both of them are disappointed. Because a man is who he is. He is when you met him. He's the same exact person. You just didn't see all the details because you wasn't looking at the fine print. You know what I'm saying? He's the same dude. You know what I mean? The same one that you was attracted to is the same one that gets on your nerves. You got to bring out that stuff that made you attracted to him. And, that woman, she's going to grow. She's going to maybe gain some weight. She's going to go through some, things in her psyche and all that. Yeah, she's not going to be the nice, young, pretty thing that you was trying to go after. And probably that was all that was on your mind. We visual creatures. We didn't think about what came with it and the kids and the baby fathers and the family and, the trauma before it and abuse and neglect and, all that kind of stuff that we inherited and that we have a job as men to fix. So, yeah, man, just work on sincerity before you enter into it and just weigh all the odds. I mean, I have people get married and things like, you never met a mom? You never met his father, his mother? They gonna tell you something because they're not Muslim. They know this boy. Then they go back and talk to the mom. I had cases where the brothers are like, man, her mom told me not to marry her. And you did it anyway because she looked good. You dummy.
Yeah, man, Faheem, that happened to me. I married a sister and the mother told me not to marry her. I ain't listen. I love her.
Yup, man, that's crazy, man.
Hey, you know what's funny about it, Imam Faheem? They don't realize all the stuff we talking about, we've been through it.
I know this right here. I mean, I don't got a lot of knowledge, but I know this institution of marriage because I've been through it. I've been on the dope fiend running the game part. I've been, told not to do this and did it anyway. And I did things that I wasn't supposed to do. I know this like the back of my hand. Okay, I'm gonna break out an office a lot real quick, inshallah.
All right, Barakallahu Bikum. I want to ask the sisters some questions. Can y'all engage me? Imam Naim, do I have you, permission to have some questions with our sisters?
I ain't the one you need to be asking. Isla in here, Leslie in here.
I mentioned, Habibi, with something you missing. There are several types of men. There are those who run the house and those who run around the house. I am not of the latter. I am a fan of the former. Right? Right? But sisters, I want to ask you some serious questions and I want y'all to engage me. Right? Y'all ready, sisters? This is a one-time opportunity. After this, it is $75 an hour for these Jews. Wait, no, it's not right. All right. What is, to you sisters in America, in the average city in America, what is a respectable dowry amount, number amount, a respectable dowry from the sisters? I don't want the brothers to tell me nothing. I want the sisters to tell me what is a respectable dowry to you in America, in the context of our lives as in America, from the women. What do you consider a respectable dowry? Go for it. 5,000. Go ahead. Don't hold up. Fire away, sisters. Be honest. Don't be ridiculous and don't cut yourself short. Be honest. The cost of Hajj. Sister Crystal, that need to be more explicit. 7 to 10 G's, 5 G's, 5 G's, 10,000. The range on age and profession of the man, it can range from 5 to 50. Go ahead, 5,000. Come on, sisters, it's more, y'all. It's a lot of people in here. 5 to 10,000, 5 to 10,000. Is that $50? 5,000, 5,000. All right, and there's more coming if y'all want. So brothers, did y'all see that? Brothers, scroll up and look at them numbers. Sisters are not interested in the crackhead dowry. I'm telling you, they're not. They're not. And that's my expression. That's my term. I'm from the inner city, so everyone knows what I mean by a crackhead dowry. Yo, sister, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna hook you up. Ain't nobody interested in that. Look at the sisters. But you know something? I'm looking at that, and in the last 3 months, I know from all the Imams, there are sisters that's talking about less than $1,000. They're not being honest. You saw it, Imam Naim. Oh, you didn't see all these numbers. These sisters have put the Slick Willie Quran and Sunnah quoting brother out of business. After listening to this, the Slick Willie Quran and Sunnah quoting brother is finished. They ain't going for it. But Imam Naim, now sisters, listen to this. Imam Naim, could you come off mute for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
How many sisters that you married or are looking in marriage and told you, listen, if it's 5,000 and less, I don't even want to talk?
No, because usually when they come to me, even if they on Facebook talking at 5,000 and more stuff, once the brother get in their ear, they're ready to accept anything. They just want to get married.
Sisters, you heard from the Imam, and I'm saying the same thing. I can count on my hands the number of sisters who came to sit-downs and said, if it's less than 5,000 for a dowry, get lost. So you're not even being honest, because I ain't seen nothing less than 5,000 except from Slick Willie Quran and Sunnah who said $50, right? So what's up, sisters? Are we being honest here? So here where that experiments told the brothers what you expect, and then the sisters who are coming less than that, you're settling from the door. You're already not happy when he told you $1,000. You mad. And if he's talking less than that, you're mad already. You already mad. You just said it. So why accept? So brothers, any of these sisters that we talking about, if you ain't got $5,000, don't even waste your time. They're not even interested in reality. Now, here's the challenge. Right? Here's the challenge, brothers. A man who is going to raise a family, take care of a wife in America should expect no less than a $5,000 to $10,000 responsibility attached to that marriage from the door, right? If he's going to pay bills, if he's going to be the man and he's going to be in charge, he should expect within the first 3 to 4 months of marriage, he's going to spend between $5,000 and $10,000 just on bills. Sisters, am I correct? If he's going to be a responsible man in America, he should expect, with at least in the first 4 months of marriage, to spend anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 just in bills. Am I right, sisters? Please answer me. I want feedback. In the first 4 months of marriage, if he's serious, he should expect to spend between $5,000 and $10,000. Am I right or wrong? Welcome to Imam Amin's marriage counseling. Free courses. That's what you're getting right now. Now you know why people don't come to me for marriage, right? Because if a joker ain't serious, he's done from the door. He don't even stand a chance. Tayyib, sisters, let's put this together. We mathematics, all y'all educated. I'm just talking one aspect. If he's going to spend in the first 4 months between $5,000 to $10,000, that means he needs at least a minimum of $30,000 in bills a year. So sis, if he's spending $30,000 on bills for you, how much money does he actually need to make for you to get that kind of dowry and that kind of monthly expenditure? I'm asking you, sisters, how much does he need to make? Because you just told me he needs between 5 and 10 for the first 4 months. So that means it's between 15 to 30,000 a year that he's going to spend on you, he should expect. So how much does he need to make to marry you, sister? Because you're saying bills is 30 grand or 15 or 20 grand a month to take care of you. How much is he going to need to make to do that? Let's talk, sisters. 75 to 90, $200,000 a year. Come on, sisters, add it up. 60 plus, 60K plus. Come on, sis. Come on, let's be real. We being real here. Okay. I ain't asked the brothers yet. I need y'all to stay in your lane. I ain't talking to you. I know you want to get her for the going crackhead rate. No, she ain't interested. I got that part, so I ain't talking to you right now. I'm a black imam, so I can say that. Look, what do you mean you going to crackhead? No, and to her, that's a crackhead deal you trying to get. She ain't interested. Look at them numbers, right? Okay. Stop there, sisters. Brothers, we're being honest. Let's not lie to each other. We're a family, right? How many of our brothers make between $75,000 and $100,000 a year? The lowest number was 60. How many of you brothers are actually bringing in 60,000 that you're willing, 60,000 a year to 100,000? How many of you are actually making that? Come on, big bucks, single brothers who want 2 wives, 3 wives, bring it. How many of y'all are making that kind of money? I'm not. Brothers, I don't hear nothing. I hear crickets. Where's all these business people with all this money? I got 3 or 4 businesses. I'm chilling. I'm pulling it, sis. Where you at? Imam Farouk, bingo. That percentile is extremely low in our communities. So sisters, you're asking for something that is totally unrealistic with the pool of men we're dealing with. That's a problem. I'm just pointing something out to you. Because let me explain something to you guys who do more than sell oils and incense, right? If your bills, if you're only making 60,000, don't forget they're going to take some of that in taxes. So after you finish taking care of this woman and the government take between 15 and 20,000, you're going to be stuck with 10,000 to survive. Did you ever think about that, my brother? That's serious talk. That's serious talk. So we got Houston, we have a problem. It mathematically doesn't add up. So now what I'm saying is this, right? There's going to have to be some negotiations here because we're living in Fantasy Island, right? Our sisters are not really dealing with reality in the pool. I know what you want. That's not real. And our brothers are not being realistic with what they're looking at. So we got a problem right here that we need to fix, right? We got a serious problem. Do y'all agree we got a serious problem for marriage right now, just from the financial end? We don't even got to talk about Quran and Sunnah. We all know money. From money, do we got a serious problem right here? I'm asking you, everybody, brothers and sisters, I need an answer. Do we have a serious problem? So since we got a serious problem, sisters, all right, we getting ready to get ugly here, brothers. How many of you have delayed the dowry and never got it? How many of you have delayed the dowry and never got it? Just say, I know somebody. You don't got to say it's me. How many of you know a woman who said, all right, brother, you don't got enough money right now. I'm going to delay the dowry and never got it? How many of y'all know somebody like that?
I wish I could see these comments.
Yeah, it's really juicy over here, brother. We're getting some serious, I think everybody is drinking some truth juice. So, sisters, I have a saying in my household. It goes, how does that work out for you? Right? How has that worked out for you? So this is not working, y'all. I think we understand that. And that's why I said we need 3 to 4 sessions just on how to have a realistic marriage in America. We got to discuss that. This is real stuff. This is real. Now, wait a minute. Sisters. I'm with the sisters, brothers, because we always got the driver's seat and the sisters are quiet. So I can ask the sisters, sisters, how many times you met a brother? I call him Slick Willie Quran and Sunnah. Why do I call him that? Because Allah said, call Allah Ta'ala, call Allah, call Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Y'all met those guys, right? They spit in the Quran and Sunnah. And you sitting there like, man, he's so deep and so knowledgeable. That's all I ever wanted. Sheikh al-Islam. Sisters, are y'all familiar with that?
My husband, Hafidhullah Ta'ala.
Y'all just getting a taste of Imam behind the stage talk, right? 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 Now you marry Sheikh al-Islam, Sahibul Quran wa Sunnah, right? And then after a few months, a year, they don't take that long. All those Quranic ayat and ahadith of the Prophet go out the window and they're replaced with the school of sister. He forgot all the Quran and Sunnah now when it's time to pay those bills and be a husband, right or wrong. Within 1 year and left, all that Quran and Sunnah turned into, I'm not the husband that you thought. Right or wrong? How many of y'all sisters are familiar with that? I'm only saying because here's what I mean. When we having these conversations, we just got to be honest. Right? We just got to be honest with one another. So all I'm saying is, for all of you never familiar with that, I don't know what planet you living on. Imam Naeem, are you familiar with that?
Very familiar.
Imam Faheem, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, what I miss?
Are you familiar with the Quran and Sunnah sheikh who, once he gets married, after 6 or 7 months, all the Quran and Sunnah go out and the woman's complaining?
Yeah. Very
This
familiar.
2021. It don't take 6-7 months no more.
So, I mean, you know, it's always an exception to the rule. But I'm saying, since we got all this out on the table, now we should start fixing it, right? Because guess what? This is things that we need to fix. It's not just to, it's to get it out, to be real, right? So any of these sisters, I need at least 80 grand a year at minimum to even talk to one of you. So that's 80 grand per wife. And if I want to do in polygyny, and I want to have 2 wives or 3 wives, that's 160, 240, because they all like, don't give her more than you giving me, and you got to take us all the same, and right or wrong. So let's be real. So I'm only saying this so we're going to get to the fiqh rulings of all this. Yes, we have to. Right? We're going to get to the fiqh ruling of it. But I'm just talking about the reality on the ground. Before we even talk about the rule of the religion, I'm talking about what we're dealing with on the ground, realistic. Right? That's all I'm talking about. That's the reality on the ground. Now, once we start talking about the reality on the ground, now we got to apply the fiqh to the reality. Because the reality ain't going nowhere. The fiqh rules, we can work that out. We can't work the reality out. That's real. That's what it is. So, do y'all agree that we all need to come together to get a realistic standard that we can actually apply? Would y'all agree with that? That's my last question. Would all of you, men and women, agree that we need to work together to get a realistic standard by which we can actually function? Would you agree? So since we agree with that, I suggest we spend the next 3 roundtables going over the fiqh of marriage, how we can apply it to our reality, knowing what is a wali, who should be a wali, what that wali should be looking for, so that we can protect our communities and our families. Because if I do everything I can do, right, and you don't do everything you can do, we're going to tear our communities up. No matter how good you are or how good am I, if one of us or too many of us are bad, we're going to destroy our communities. So it's essential that we all work together to fix the problem that we are going to suffer from. And that's my thoughts, and I'll give it back to the Imams.
I missed some of that part about the dowry, but man.
Oh, I'll tell you, the women said, the majority of the women, all of them, I don't see no one who said less. They said a dowry has to be, in America, average dowry that's reasonable has to be between $5,000 and $10,000. If it's less than $5,000, kick rocks. Translation: if it's less than $5,000, kick rocks.
Who you think you is? One of Obama's daughters? Say. Your dad ain't no president. But you know what? In my experience, I used to be in favor of a simple dowry, because I was always under the impression that if the man who's offering the dowry is honorable, it don't matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of sisters sometimes they equate the dowry with their worth. You know what I mean? And of course, as men, if we honorable, you don't offer no crackhead dowry like $50 or, you know, overgarment. You know, you should be buying that stuff anyway. But, you know, based on the situation, you know, if the honorable man gives you $1,000, you know, you're going to get all of his money anyway. You know what I mean? So we do need to come up with some type of standard that, you know, because then if you get now another, I like this these high dowries of $5,000-$10,000, because then these divorces might go down and he's asking for khullas when you got to give this dowry back. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, no problem, sis. You know, I accept your khullah. You know, just give me those 10 racks back, and we'll be good. And it's something to think about. You know what I mean? Because you done already spent the 10 racks. You ain't got no intention on giving it back. You know, so in that sense, but I mean, honorable. I mean, when I got married, you know, my wife asked me for it was a $500 gift certificate, right? And I was like, I got half. So I fall under that sweet, slick Willie, you know, I fall in that category, you know what I mean? But, you know, we got 23 years in, man, this May, you know, this month, actually. So, I mean, it depends. But just be, I mean, when the man is honorable, then you have the women, they will be willing, you know, they will concede to an honorable brother. You stand up guy, you know, he got some integrity, he got some honor, he gonna protect you. You know what I mean? He gonna comfort you. He's gonna lead the way. He's not gonna force you. He's not gonna try to dominate you. You know, he's just gonna be a man. You know what I mean? And when you let him be a man, you know, and the men be men, then women are inclined to, you know, follow us. You know, we just need more brothers to be men and not male figures. Like Sheikh Imam, you know, used to say that, rahimahullah. He said, you know, there's a difference between a man and a male. You know. A man is one thing, a male species is something else. You know, we got too many male species, you know what I mean? You know, operating on the lower naps and all that kind of stuff, man, and not ready to step up to the plate. Because a man, you take it all on. You know, you take all the hits to the chest, to the chin, you know, and you find a way to get through those hits, you know what I mean? You find a way to get a solution. One brother told me one time, he said, you know, you meet a woman halfway, and the half that she can't cover, you cover the rest. You cover the rest. You know, the Prophet ﷺ instructed us very well. Kulukum ra'in wa kulukum mas'ulun al ra'iyati. Each one of you are a shepherd, and you're going to be questioned about what you are a shepherd over. You know what I mean? The men, we have a big responsibility. You know, the women are the mothers of civilization, but we are the ones who are making it, you know, we affect their situations, you know. And we got a lot of work to do, man. And we ask Allah to give us success. I mean,
I want to jump on that question. Imam Naeem, you want to answer this? Why don't the brothers want to pay the dowry? So this sisters are talking about 5,000, right? Why don't brothers want to pay that dowry?
I don't know. Actually, $5,000 is not a high dowry, and I'm not one of those 80,000. You know, I'm a low income earner. Matter of fact, I'm an Imam. I don't pay it at all. So
hey, we moving to Texas with Duke Ellington and get some of that bread.
Oh, you mean Michael Ellington? Duke Ellington. It's our brother. Yeah, we need to get some of that bread, that immigrant bread up in Texas.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know, man, because like I said, you know, for me, especially in the area of marriage, moving to Philly just took all of the naivete away from me. All the, you know, cloudy glasses and all that stuff got thrown out the window. I had to see the whole bunch of stuff. And every brother that I ever come across that, you know, was asked to pay a reasonable dowry, like $5,000, and he was honorable, they never had no problem with nothing like that. My experience tells me the ones who got a problem with that, with even $4,000, $3,000, or $2,000, is they, you know, they got short-term intentions. They may not be technically calling it muta, temporary marriage, but it's like we got a lot of trust issues, and we got a lot of you know, we got, subhanAllah. It's like you kind of like touched on it. You know, sometimes the brothers will on the front end accept a high dowry and then ask for it to be deferred. Like, you know, I can't pay all of it now. You want $5,000, sister? Well, I got 500 now. That 10%, right? I got 500 now. Maybe you can defer the rest until later. So he get away with the $500, and then, you know, I'm just gonna say it the way we talk behind closed doors, because that's what it's all about. He smashed, right? He hit, and whatever, you know, he good now. You know, he took the edge off, so now he don't really care no more. And so now everything goes south in the marriage. They have arguments, whatever, and it's like, you know, man, if you want a cooler, I give you a cooler, right? And, you know, like in Philadelphia, at least when I was living there, talaq felt like it was going extinct. Everybody got divorced by kula, right? That's what it felt like. So, as you mentioned, when a woman ransoms herself from the marriage, is called a kula, you know, ransom. She has to pay something. Usually what she pays is the dowry. So it'd be like, you know, oh, okay, yeah, I want a kula, right? She's like, all right, well, I need my dowry back. What you mean? I'm giving you a kula. I'm letting you out. You want to get out, right? Need my dowry back. Nigga, you ain't paid me. Or we even then. Kalas, I'm out. Keep your Section 8. I'm out. Bye. And that's the reality of a lot of situations. The type brothers that don't want to pay no dowry. That's the type of realities that they living in. And what we have to be, what we have to do is, those of us who are not operating on that level, we got to recognize game and leave them where they at. Because a lot of times people that's honorable is getting in and ready to mix it up with people that's not honorable. And so this is where the problem comes at. So brothers, be ready to pay with the dowry if he with a sister that he think is serious. Or it be the other ones, and they're here and they're in the room, you know, Quran and Sunnah and whatever, and they hate imams like me and you, you know, when it comes time to get married, because they know, oh man, a fee? Imam Faheem charge a fee? Subhanallah, astaghfirullah, Aki. Where's all that in the Sunnah, Aki? The Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he never charged a fee, right? This is a bid'ah, Aki. Come on, babe, let's go someplace else, man. Imam tripping. A fee.
We'll bid out your ass down the street there.
You guys are too much. So here, I'm just saying, so inshallah, next week, we're going to start from point A. We got it all out. Next week, we're going to talk about the proper way to pursue a spouse Islamically tomorrow. And not tomorrow, next week. And what needs to be done in that process. Right? And each of the Imams are going to present what they expect from their communities in the beginning process. Let me tell you for me real quick. Anybody who's considered Imam Amin's my Imam, or I'm in Masjid Muhammad, you already know where I'm at with that stuff, right? But just to make sure that you know, brothers and sisters, if you're talking to anyone that says I'm an Imam and they talk to you and you and him didn't talk to me first, he's lying. She's lying. Period. If anybody from my community or say I'm their Imam or I'm their sheikh and they talk to you about marriage and didn't bring you to me first, they're lying. I'm not their Imam. They're not following me. They're doing their own thing. So if a person say Imam Amin is my Imam and we talking about marriage and you didn't talk to me with that person first, they're not telling you the truth. They playing games with you. Already run from them. That's a lie. Because Imam Amin, his rule is very clear. Don't even talk about marriage till we all talk and I see what's going on before we even get started. Right? We ain't even having the conversation until we have a real sit down. And anyone who has been in counseling with me know we get raw. We're not playing no games here, right? So that's just, I'm putting it out there because sometimes I think that gets out. No, Imam Amin is my Imam. He's my Wali, and you doing whatever you want. Nah, I'm not your Imam, and I'm not your Wali. Absolutely not.
Have you?
So,
go ahead.
Just put it out there.
You ever had this one, man? Somebody call you out the blue and be like, "Oh yeah, Assalamu alaikum, Imam. I'm trying to get married this Friday." Yeah, wa alaikum salam. Who are you? Yeah, I'm Abdullah. Man, I got about 20 Abdullahs in this phone. Who are you? Your name don't show up on none of them. Yeah, I was trying to get married to the sister. All right, you got everything in place? What do I need? Brother, listen, you don't know what you need? Come on, man. I said, do you think that's practical? You could just text me out the blue and think you're going to get married on Jummah and I don't even know who you are? Okay. Yeah, come this Friday. Oh, by the way, my fee is $500. Don't hear from him no more. That's that.
I want to tell you what happened to me. I got a call from a major Imam in America. So the person went all the way to another city. Now he think I'm just some local Imam Amin Muhammad. I am. But he don't know that Imam Amin Muhammad travels, right? And I know Imams all around the country, right? So he tells the Imam he's online, Quran and Sunnah sister, right? Yeah, and I took my knowledge from Imam Amin Muhammad. I studied with him, and I took this book, and blah, 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 blah. The Imam calls me. He says, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I said, wa alaikum salam. He says, I got one of your students here trying to marry one of the sisters in my community. Huh? Right? I got one of your students. He's one of your main students. He said he took a bunch of stuff from you. And he's marrying a sister in your community, and I don't know about it. Nah, bro. Right? He said, yeah, he said, and he told me the person. I said, I don't even know who that is. I said, I don't even know him. I didn't even know the person's name. Then when he described him, I said, that guy came to a couple weekend seminars. You know, we had him weekend all-day seminars. He came to about 1 or 2 of those looking for a wife. And he went back and told the Imam in another state that he studied with me and he learned these books. And he was talking about the 1 or 2 days he came to an all-day seminar.
He sat in the back.
And he told the Imam that. Right? You see my point? Sisters, did you hear what I just said? This is us. So we need Imams involved. I tell you, sisters, don't get involved with no one unless you got all the Imams you know who know these people involved. Put protection around yourself. Who's your Imam? Oh, I don't got no Imam. Well, you don't got no wife in me either. I don't have no Imam. I'm my own Imam. I don't need no Imam. Quran and Sunnah.
I go everywhere for Jummah.
Tell him kick rocks. Seriously. I don't have no Imam. And if he don't have no Imam, that means can't no one tell him nothing when he abuses you. That's what he's telling you. That's code for when I abuse you, you have no recourse for help. Because I don't have no Imam. I'm the Khalifa in my life. So when I treat you like crap, you don't got nobody to complain to because I don't have an Imam. Nobody tell me what to do.
You got boys out there that's claiming prophethood. That's what you want? They're out there for you.
So we're going to bring it to a close. But so next week, tune in, share. We're going to get into the Quran and Sunnah aspect. Next week, next Tuesday, I got all this stuff off my chest. Thank you very much for listening.
Hey, Imam, I mean, we had quite a few questions.
Can we let's try to answer some of them real quick. I'm pushing it. I'm getting ready to be in divorce court if I keep this stuff up.
Okay.
Right?
Says
I was just joking when I said I run the house. I really don't run nothing but my mouth. Right?
Let's see. It says, clarify, expound. If marriage completes one's deen, where does the principle place a single person? You got to get married, single person.
If it's a good marriage, if it's a bad marriage, it's going to destroy your deen. So it puts the single and sister to be cautious for make sure she doesn't marry a wolf so her deen can be complete. That's in reality. Because if you get in a bad marriage, it'll ruin your deen. And I'm telling you, I've seen too many women in bad marriages and it ruined their deen. Let me make it even clearer for you. Let's be honest here. I've been in marriages that I wasn't the best husband, and to this day, I see the effect on that sister's deen. And I mean, I teach, I do what I do, I work. Y'all see me every day. I live like this. But I know for me not being a sensitive, mindful, compassionate husband, I've hurt women. To this day, I see it affect their deen. So I don't got to talk about nobody else. I'm talking about me, right? I know for sure If you don't get a good husband, it can affect your deen. I see it today now. So I'm speaking myself. Now, I work hard to never ever do that again in my life. But that was an honest mistake that I made that I just beginning to realize how devastating it was on that sister. Right? I'm just realizing it. Because you know we don't take responsibility for nothing. It ain't my fault. Sister can't hang out. She wasn't really cut for this. Negro, you wasn't a good husband. How about that? You was a horrible husband. And she was an emotional woman that you scarred. You owe her an apology. And another $5,000 for abuse dowry. That's me fantasy thinking. I'm joking, right? Next time. I'll make 5,000 worth of du'as, inshallah. No, but seriously, we got to be honest with ourselves. And maybe some honesty will help the situation, right? A little bit of honesty. And sometimes if the Imam can admit and be honest, it will help the other brothers be honest, right? We make mistakes. We screw it up. Sometimes we screw it up, and we got to be honest. We hurt women. We're insensitive. We don't think. We do dumb stuff. We do that, right? We got to be real, man. We got to be real. All right, that's where it put the woman. Make sure you get a good husband. Don't marry no joker. Just because he's a sheikh and he can spit Quran and Sunnah and his Arabic is nice, right? You know, and he studied with the kibar ulama, the great scholars. At the end of the day, if he ain't learning to purify himself, he's gonna be a mess with all his quoting. That's real. So don't just jump out there because he looked like the package. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you this. I had a student that came to me. This was years ago, so it's not a new thing. Don't get alarmed. It was years ago. And this student was a good student. She was very young, in her 20s, early 20s. She said, Imam Amin, I want to marry you. I said, sis, I would never do that. She was a nice looking sister, very smart, educated. I said, I won't do that. She said, why? I said, I will break your heart. Not meaning I want to. I know my life. You can't handle that, sister. You deserve much better than me for what you need. And guess what? That sister got a great husband. Because I was sensitive enough to tell her no. I didn't take advantage. She got an excellent husband. Barakallahu fiha wa fihi. Excellent husband. Right? Now, if I would have followed my nafs, yeah, I want to do that. MashaAllah, sis. But I know me. I'm never home. I'm always ripping and running and ripping and running and ripping and running. And you got this young sister who just want a husband. I'm going to tear her apart. That's real. She can't hang out with me. I need someone who's, as CJ says, y'all know CJ? Big CJ, the barbershop man. I need a woman with experience that can handle real stuff. Not someone who's just trying this out. It doesn't work. So, brothers, you know yourself. Don't do that. Be honest. It ain't always about you. And I'm just saying, I'm saying that because we go through this stuff. So it'll help you. Yeah, right. He told me that. He said, I need someone with experience because I'm a mess. CJ crazy. Oh man. Nah, but so sis, don't marry somebody just to complete half your faith. If you marry the wrong guy, he'll ruin your faith. Don't do that.
Okay, ma'am, I got a I got a boogie, man. I got
we all got a boogie.
Yeah. So inshallah, maybe we try to answer these questions throughout the week or something, or
yeah, we'll try that. We'll put them up and we'll bring I think we can go back and view the comments because you can see it, right? We write them down and then next week we'll just come out with some of the answers before we get started.
Okay.
So I hope y'all appreciate the honesty, the brutal honesty of the Black Imams Roundtable. But we trying to win. Seriously, we trying to win. We don't want to see nobody lose. We can't afford to lose no more. So we got to be honest, right? And sometimes you got to go on the line. And I appreciate my family putting up with my brutal honesty, right? Because, subhanAllah, they're out here with me, even though they're not out here with me. They're out here with me, so I appreciate them being patient with me and allowing me to do what needs to be done to help us, right? So I want to thank y'all for y'all patience and y'all forbearance with my shenanigans, but we got to get the job done, man. We can't keep living like this, right? So we got to do what we got to do, Inshallah, may Allah make it easy for all of us. And inshallah, we'll come back at it next week with some more real concept, right? And inshallah. So close us out with dua, Imam Faheem.
Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.